Hey everyone, we've got a week's worth of puzzles to work our way through. Let's have a look at all of them. So here is the first one. This one comes from Tuesday. I already did the Monday puzzle already, that you can already see uploaded on the channel. But this one had a funny hint. It was called The Pursuit of Trappiness, obviously being some sort of play on words with The Pursuit of Happiness. And essentially this one has got some sort of trap piece puzzle to it, and you'll notice that this queen here has not got a huge amount of squares that it can possibly go to. So hopefully when you notice that, you may have been looking at ways of maybe attacking this queen in some way, and perhaps you would have been maybe attracted to the move bishop to g5. So that is the first move. Notice here the queen is defending the bishop, and this queen has got very little squares it can go to now. It can't come to these two squares because of the pawn and the bishop defending it, so it has to come to the move queen to h3, and this is perhaps where a lot of you maybe struggled to find the next move here, as it does not appear to be a piece that can attack this queen here, but it turns out it is, and you need to make sure you search all the way around the board, and hopefully you are able to then find the move bishop to f1, a very counterintuitive move because you have to move your pieces backwards, but in the process it is then attacking this queen. And what you notice about this is now the queen has got nowhere it can go to. It can't come to this dark square, can't come here, can't come here, can't come here because of the pawns all guarding the square, and obviously can't take the knight or the pawn because of other captures. So as you can see, very nice little puzzle, a nice Tuesday puzzle to start us off. Okay, so here we have puzzle number 2. Now, I actually struggled with this little puzzle, despite it being a Wednesday puzzle. I couldn't quite calculate the checkmating sequence for this one. But essentially with this one, what you're trying to do is you want to try and checkmate this white king, and you've got 3 pieces to do it. So in theory, you should be able to do it. So hopefully you are at least able to find the first move in this particular problem, and that is the move knight to f3 check. Now the king is then forced to come up to h3, and now we've got 2 pieces that are going around the king. But as I say, it wasn't quite clear, and I couldn't really find a good way of continuing in this particular position. For example, I could try the move knight to g5, but here I think the king can just come back to h2, and well, you're going to have to end up repeating this position anyway. So after this move, I had to find something else in this position to do. And if I just go back to here, sorry, I then had to throw in a check, which then flushed the king back this way. And this is where, again, I was kind of struggling, because I was like, well, both my pieces are under attack now, so how do I continue this? Well, it turns out we're going to use this pawn here on f5 to help us with this checkmating sequence, which is why we can now play the move rook to h2 check. The point of it is this: if the king now comes up this way, this will be checkmate with the rook. This is a very nice little pattern to remember, this rook and knight covering all the squares around the white king. And if the king were to take this knight here, we can then deliver checkmate quite nicely on f2 here, and notice how the pawn is helping guard these 2 squares. A very nice checkmating pattern to remember that one. Okay, so here we have puzzle, the Thursday puzzle, I should say, from chess.com. Again, a tricky one. Again, there's a very nice tactical theme to this one, though, that I think you might quite enjoy. So what's difficult about this particular puzzle? Well, it looks like white's got a very good position. He's got a very dominant looking attack on black in this position, because he's got lots of pieces that are surrounding the black king. He also has, black has also got some problems maybe on the dark squares with this pawn that's creating a big wedge in the position, and there may be some stuff with the queen coming here. You know, if this rook were to disappear, for example, you could then deliver quite an easy checkmate over here. With that said, the solution wasn't super easy. You know, you can't do any kind of waiting moves in this position because black has got his own counterplay. So you've got to come with forcing moves here, and that's when you start doing your checks, captures, threats, all of these different things to try and find the solution to this one. So the solution to this one is very nice. It is actually rook takes here on f7 with check. Now, it should be pointed out, if the king were to come to g8, you can do checkmate very simply after this, and if the king were to come here, you can checkmate on h7. If the rook were to block, again, you've got checkmate on g7. So black is pretty much forced to, oops, sorry, go back here. Black is forced to take back with his rook now, and this is where now we can now infiltrate onto these dark squares. I was talking about that a little bit earlier with the move queen to h6 check. Well, so what, white would say, I can just move my king over to g8, but now instead of taking this pawn, which I believe would actually be a drawing move, because now the king comes over, and there isn't actually a clear way that you can checkmate here, I don't think. You've got this sort of idea, and I don't think you can actually break through. And actually it turns out that I think this actually leads to checkmate at the upper. That's really cool, isn't it? So you've got to be super careful here. So it's not that move, it is instead, and this is a really nice use of this pin. You've got to imagine that this rook is out of the game. He can't do anything because of this pin. So as a result, we can utilize this pawn on the dark square, checkmate on g7. Really, really nice, that one. So hopefully you're able to get that tricky Thursday puzzle. Okay, and then here is the Friday puzzle. Again, a toughie, this one. I think I got this one just due to the fact that I've seen certain positions that look a little bit like this with certain thrusts in this position. The first thing to point out about this position is that black has got quite a lot of pieces defending his king, but without any pawns to cover the black king. It looks like there could be some tactics or some things to attack the pieces that surround him. It's also quite tricky to get all of white's pieces into the attack, namely this bishop would love to come to the attack, but these white pawns are creating a bit of a problem for whites, for them to be able to participate in this position. It should also be pointed out as well that black has, the material is actually even, I believe, but white's for a whole piece down has got 3 pawns for it, so black has got more pieces to do things, which may make him think that he can actually defend this particular position. So really, I guess with this particular puzzle, it's to realize, okay, there's some sort of like attacks on the black king, but I also want to try and get all my pieces involved in here, and namely this bishop maybe could somehow come into this position and actually do something in this attack. So the solution to this one is actually pawn to f6, which is a really nice move, which creates a huge wedge in black's position. Now he obviously cannot take this way, and in the mainline solution it has rook takes, so it should also be pointed out, so he shouldn't take with his queen, as obviously this would lead to a loss of an exchange. So rook takes is the main move here, and now we can play the very nice forking move here, and this is actually a blocking with interference move here, the move g5, which creates a fork now on both the rook and the queen here. Very, very interesting. You couldn't do it before because of the bishop, but it should, again, I think I should mention here that, yeah, you can't play this move first because the queen cannot defend this pawn. That's why f6 is kind of like a clearance, blocking, interference type sacrifice thingy. So there's lots going on there. Now you can play the move g5, and after the queen were to move, you can then take here. Again, you've got to be a little bit careful. Don't want to take with this pawn, as well black gets in this nasty check. So you just have to be a little bit careful with this one. So yeah, a hard one, but I think doable. I think if you can work out that there's some sort of forking tactics over here, then you should be able to solve it. Okay, here is the final puzzle. This was the Saturday puzzle, a really beautiful solution to this, and a real treat, this puzzle, by the way. So if you made it all the way to this video, make sure you give this a like, make sure you comment below to see if you solved this one. This one comes from a Title Tuesday match that was played in November, I believe. This was between Alexander Bortnik versus Jeffrey Zhang. It does say extra bishop c5, so I'm assuming that there was an extra piece maybe added to this to create this particular composition. But a really nice puzzle, this one, because there's a very nice combination on the black side, and I also discovered a really nice combination that white could play if black plays the wrong move here. So with this particular one, to be able to solve this one, you have to look for your checks, captures, threats, and realize that black really has to go all out here, because white has got lots of pieces that are crowding around the black king that are able to maybe do a checkmate here. So you might be drawn to maybe a move like bishop takes here on c4, but actually, because this is just a capture and not a check, white is actually faster in this position. There's a very nice checkmating pattern here, a very nice checkmating thing. You could try and solve if you want to on the white side before I continue, but in any case, white can now play the move queen to h6 with check. The king gets flushed up the board if it comes to g8, by the way. That would just be checkmate on h8. And now you've got the move bishop to e7. This is so cool. I didn't see this move. I had to use the engine to help me with this one, but I just was like, wow, this is so cool, this. Because now you've got rook takes here, which is forced. And now you've got queen to h8 check. The reason why you had to do that was you need to get rid of the rook from defending this h8 square. Now the king is forced to come up to g5, and a really nice checkmate, f4. Wow, that's so cool, that one. That's almost as cool as the actual solution. So coming back then, so a capture doesn't work here. It's not enough in this position, as white will be able to checkmate pretty quickly, which is why here you've got to play the move rook takes on f1. This works because, again, black has got lots of pieces himself, and he's got lots of good grip on certain squares in white's position. So what does white have to do? Well, he has to take this rook. That's forced here. It's a forced move. And now we can bring the bishop into the attack. And you'll notice here that the white king cannot go, and hasn't got many squares it can go to, because all of these are guarded by various things. So let's have a look at a few moves. I'll show you the mainline solution first, which I think is really nice and really pretty. Here you can play the move rook king to g1, and the problem here for white is now white has got a weak back rank because of this pawn here, and now you can play a very nice x-raying tactic with the move queen here, which is really nice. Now I actually failed the solution because I tried to play this move thinking that this was fine. It turns out actually white again has a mate in 11, in case you're wondering. So just to show you that, because essentially white has just got lots of checks here and all kinds of things to win this position. He can take back here, and there's no way of accessing this particular square. So in my head I was thinking, oh yeah, maybe there'll be some sort of take back here, and then I can come here with a check and then checkmate over here. But because of there's a slight alteration in this position after this, and then takes back and then takes back with the queen, you can no longer do that. And I think as well, if you take back this straight away, this also wins as well, as there's no way to checkmate here on the back rank. So I thought that worked, it didn't. So actually you've got to play this x-ray tactic, rook takes, and a very stunning checkmate on the back rank there. Really, really nice puzzle. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you solved it. And as always, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like these videos, comment below, share these videos, guys, because all of these things, if you like chess puzzles, if you like me to keep doing these stuff, you need to show me that and show me your support for these particular videos. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Take care. Bye.